All right, today we're doing something a little different. We're going to step inside a live online Quran memorization class. Why? Because a question comes up in there that is as old as learning itself. How do you make what you learn actually stick?
So here's our plan. First, we'll set the scene for you. Then we'll dive right into that huge problem, of forgetting things. From there, we'll look at two really powerful strategies for review. Then we're going to switch gears and talk about why your mindset might just be more important than your method. And finally, we'll wrap it all up and see what this all means for learning today. Ready? Let's get into it.
Okay, so just to paint a picture for you, we're not digging through some old, dusty textbook. Nope. Our source is a live-streamed Quran circle. It's this super dynamic real-time Q&A session where a teacher is guiding students through the real nitty-gritty challenges of memorization, right as they're happening. It's pretty amazing, and this is where our story starts.
So as you watch this live session, a certain question starts to pop up in the chat, and then it comes up again and again. And it's one of those questions that, just hits home. It cuts right to the heart of what it means to learn anything, and it's something we can all relate to.
And there it is. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is the core problem. You've put in all these hours, all this effort memorizing something, and then you start to feel it just slipping away. It's that classic juggling act, trying to hold on to the old stuff while you're taking in the new. So what's the solution?
So how does the teacher tackle this? Well, his first piece of advice is absolutely crucial. He basically says, look, there is no one-size-fits-all magic bullet solution here. The whole key is to tailor your approach to create a review practice that's personalized for you and where you are on your journey.
But first, we really have to get clear on what review actually means here. The teacher makes a really important distinction. It's not just passively reading something over. The real review, the kind that actually works, is active recall. It's the act of pulling that information out of your brain from scratch. That's the true test, and it's the only thing that really strengthens the memory.
So check this out. This is the teacher's game plan, and what's so smart about it is how it adapts to you. It's all about being honest with yourself. If your memory feels strong, go big, review 3 parts, or jizz. If it's feeling kind of medium, dial it back to 2. But, and this is the key, if you know your recall is weak, you change the strategy completely. You forget about quantity. Instead, you focus on just one part, but you hammer it home with repetition, reading it 5 times. It's all about depth over breadth to build a truly solid foundation.
Okay, that's great for your day-to-day, but what about when you've memorized a ton of material? The risk of the stuff you learned way back at the beginning just fading to black, it gets even bigger. For this problem, the teacher introduces a second, really systematic strategy. He calls it the near and far method, and it is a brilliant way to make sure nothing gets left behind. He calls it the past near and past far method. Think of it like you're maintaining a really long bridge. You have to constantly check the foundation you laid down a long time ago, that's your past far, but you also have to secure the new section you just finished building, that's your past near. By doing both, you create this strong, unbroken chain of retention. And here's how practical it is. Every single day, you tackle both ends of your knowledge. You grab a piece from the very beginning and a piece from just before your new lessons. And here's the best part. Even if you are totally swamped with no time, the principle still works. Just review half a portion from each. You are literally fighting forgetfulness on 2 fronts every single day.
But, all the techniques in the world are only part of the story. The session takes a turn when a viewer who is ill and finding it difficult to even read asks a question. And just like that, the conversation shifts from how to learn to why we learn.
And the teacher's response here is what makes this whole session so powerful. He shares this profound idea that completely reframes the experience of learning. The point is that the struggle itself has immense value. The effort, the difficulty, the fact that you're trying even when it's hard, that gets its own reward. You get one for reading and a whole other one for the hardship. It's a huge shift from a results-only mindset to one that truly values the process. Then he takes it a step further. He explains that the ultimate struggle, the jihad of the self, is the internal one. It's that daily battle to stay disciplined, to stay focused, and to keep going when you want to quit. And this reframes the whole process. Learning isn't just about getting knowledge anymore. It's about the personal discipline and the character that you build along the way.
So let's pull all of this together. What are the big takeaways from this fascinating mashup of ancient text and modern technology? What can this online study circle teach all of us about learning?
It really boils down to these core ideas. First, personalize your practice. Be honest with yourself. Second, review systematically so nothing falls through the cracks. Third, and this is maybe the biggest one, embrace the struggle. Realize that the effort itself is as valuable as the outcome. And finally, adapt. If you can't read, then listen. The real goal is consistent, meaningful engagement.
It really makes you think. In an age of endless information and distraction, it's amazing to see how these ancient traditions of deep, disciplined learning and mentorship are finding a new life online. This session is a perfect example. The platform might be new, but the core principles of dedication, community, and guidance are as powerful as ever, connecting people all across the globe in a shared, timeless pursuit of knowledge.